Splendid. Bravo. Excellent performance. Perfect execution. In fact, this chapter was near perfect execution, in fact. But I'm going to get into that right after my intro. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Shinigami X, aka Captain X, here today to review Bleach chapter 561 entitled The Villain. Now, I'd like to start off like there were several things I liked about this chapter in comparison to last week's chapter. This week's chapter was a much better chapter of Bleach than last week's chapter was. Last week's chapter, let's just put that aside please, and let's move on to the goodness of this week's chapter. What was very good about this week's chapter was the fact that, you know, the tables have turned on Kensei now, and that Master Masculine is putting it on him, and like, you know, he dropped him, he finished him, and he even went to the extent to break his arm, as we can see in one of the panels where Kensei's arm is bent awkwardly. It's right after the panel where Kensei went to punch him, he got blocked, and Master Masculine threw him to the ground and just gave him that nasty knee in the back, or stomach, or whatever it was, when he dropped him. Anyways, one of the other things that I did like about this chapter was when Rose, he took out James. So smart, so quick, wasted no time, and it was exactly what needed to be done. Now, another thing that I liked about this chapter is that he went straight into Bankai, he wasted no time. And I thought what his Bankai ability is actually pretty cool. It actually has the ability to be very deadly if you don't explain what it is. Anyway, so now I'm going to move into the things that I didn't like about this chapter. See, the thing that I didn't like about this chapter, and I'm going to reference other sections in Bleach where this is annoying me when it comes to the visors, and it's starting to make me call bullshit on Kubo's part. But I'm also going to redeem that because I can see the reason why he's doing it, but I'm going to get into that after my explanation. What my point is this. Is okay, why are you explaining your abilities to your opponent? It makes no sense, because as we see in this chapter, Rose has a very powerful Bankai, but then he goes and explains it to Master Masculine. Then, what does Master Masculine do? He does the perfect thing to counter his Bankai. He crushes his eardrums. So now his Bankai is rendered useless and ineffective by any sense of the measure. Alright, so now with his Bankai rendered useless, Master Masculine puts a hole through him, a star-shaped hole through him. And I think he quite evidently deserves that. He should have shut his mouth and let his Bankai take its effect. And a perfect example of this where you shouldn't reveal your abilities is when Shunsui fought Stark. Shunsui didn't reveal all his abilities, yet he led Stark onto what they were, piece by piece. It was actually Stark's intelligence that let him figure it out. And Shunsui just said that, okay, once he figured it out, he just didn't lie that, yeah, that is what it does. It's like, you're quite sharp, you catch on quickly, as we know Stark does. So that was back then. Also, another thing which illustrates that you should do anything that you should in this kind of situation to win a battle is when Shunsui said that, one, that when you're at war, both sides are evil. Two, is that when Kyoraku Shunsui defeated Stark, Love, and I believe it was Love and Rose, it was Love and Rose at the time, that basically congratulated him, said, oh, very well done, Captain Kyoraku. And then Love even states to him that, oh, you've always had a bad habit of interfering in people's fights. And then Kyoraku Shunsui did state that this is a war. Like, so, you know, when abiding by the honor of a battle is an amateur's mistake when you're dealing with a war. And when a war breaks out, both sides are evil. So, based on that, let's apply that to this chapter now. So why are the visors revealing their Shikais, their Bankais, and what their powers are against the enemy who's trying to kill them in a war? I don't think they've grasped the concept of, like, you know, these Quincy's are out to kill them. And it does annoy me. And it's evidently making me think that Kubo is punking these visors for, like, what reason? But like I was saying, like, I do believe that this is done for a reason. And the reason is this. I believe that this chapter was a setup chapter for Renji's appearance, and, you know, for the next chapter where Renji's going to fight Master Masculine for the epic rematch. Because we all know Renji has to get him back for that nasty drop kick that he gave him across the Serite. That kick was raw. Yeah, and as I was explaining before, like with the whole setup kind of issue, remember how Shinji got taken out? That was, in my opinion, I now realize that was a setup for the battle against Komamura to basically redeem Komamura's character and give him some character development that he's quite evidently not had throughout the entire series. That's that aside. That's what I think Kubo's mission is with the visors, that he's basically using them to set up for other characters to give them character development, because as far as we know, we've had character development for the Visors, we've had character development for Kensei, we've had character development for Love, Rose, all of those the Visor characters, especially in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc. We've seen it, we know all about their backstory, so there's not really much left for them, other than the fact that their powers could increase. But as far as Renji goes, he's one of the main characters in Bleach, and it's understandable why he would need some character development, which is why he went to the Soul Palace, which is why he's now down and defending Rose from Master Masculine's attack, which should have normally blown a hole through Ishikai. Anyways, so that's that rant going on. So now let's talk about the things that I did like about this chapter. I think I've gone over this already, but I loved how Master Masculine got serious. It made me respect him a lot more as a character in general, and I think that this was a good move on Kubo's part. Rather than going on stupid, yeah, fair enough, he's shouting out the moves that he's doing, like, you know, like superstar headbutt, but that's what a wrestler does. You know what I mean? He's a wrestler, and that's what they do. Like, you know, 5-star frog splash. Rob Van Dam would do it. I'm not a wrestling fan, but you know, I did watch wrestling back in the day, so I do know a thing or two. So yeah, that's what wrestlers do. They shout out the name of their attacks. It's all for entertainment, all for the audience, and I get that. So I do get how in the last chapter how James would motivate Master Masculine to get back up, but I didn't like how it suddenly made him bigger. It suddenly made him stronger to the extent where he's getting dropped by Kensei, to the extent where now he's able to, you know, completely overwhelm him. Like I said, I've got no issue with him overwhelming him, but it should have been a thing in the beginning where that strength was somewhat implemented in the battle against Kensei, because he gave Kensei the drop kick, but he blocked it until he got that ridiculous power boost. So I think it was a good thing on Rose's part that he took him out so he doesn't get any stronger. So now Renji does actually have a chance of defeating him. So now, moving on to the last segments of this chapter, do I think Renji is stronger than the captain level Visors? You know what? I'm going to call yes I do. After training with the Royal Court Guard squads, I do evidently think he's stronger. How much time has passed we don't know, but I'm going to get into that in probably my next captain's table with the Elite Ace in Charles' anime world. So yeah, I guess that'll do it, guys. That's it for my review this week. I guess the last thing I could say is, where do I think the Visors stack up in terms of power? You know what? Judging by the last few chapters and what happened in the Fate Karakura Town arc, I could say that with normally, like, you know, without their hollow powers, that the Visors aren't actually stronger than the normal captains of the Gote 13. Because in every battle that they've done, they've not made any significant impact other than, you know, as backup soldiers. You know, against Aizen and all the other Espada, they didn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? So I could say they're no stronger than regular captains of the Gote 13. And it's only that they become, actually they're weaker than the captains of the Gote 13. They only become as strong with their hollow powers. That's just my opinion, guys. Feel free to disagree. But anyways, guys, I've rambled enough. It's your boy Shin Megami X, aka Captain X. I'm signing out. And as always, my people, if you have any comments or concerns, hit me up in the comment section below. But like I was about to say, as always, my people, take care and peace.